Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and this Thunder team might be the best basketball team to ever play the sport. I'm not saying that because I'm a Thunder fan. I'm saying it because the numbers early on back up that that's going to be a conversation by the time we get to the end of the season. Tonight, they destroyed the Lakers, was not even really close. It was a 30-point game by halftime, and that's on the second half of a back-to-back after they annihilated the Warriors by 24 points. Also, not really a game once it got to the second half. This team is destroying everybody left and right. They are now 12-1 on the season, and have an average margin of victory of 15.5 points, which right now is on pace to shatter the record that last year's Thunder set at 12.9. Jalen Williams has not played yet. Lou Dort has missed 6 games. Chet has missed 4. Aaron Wiggins has missed 4. Kenrich Williams has not played this season. Multiple rotation players, Isaiah Joe missed the beginning of the year too, have been out in every single game the Thunder have played so far this year. It just hasn't mattered. They still look like one of the best teams ever to start the season. The defense is somehow better. Last year's defensive unit was in the conversation for the best we've ever seen. I think it was definitely the best perimeter defense ever, but you could argue some others as overall defensive units. Right now, the gap between the Thunder's defense and everybody else's is astronomical. It's the biggest there's ever been. And, maybe that changes by the end of the season, but right now, the Thunder have a defensive rating of 103 flat. The Nuggets are at number 2, which shout to Denver. They've been amazing this season. We'll talk about them in a little bit. They're at a 109.4. It is a 6.4 difference in defensive rating from number 1 to number 2. We have never seen that before. For conversation, last year, it was a gap of 2.5 between the Thunder and the Magic, and that in and of itself was historic. This might be the best defense ever. There are all defensive players left and right. Cason Wallace just had multiple games in a row where he clamped up John Morant, then Steph Curry, then Luka Doncic. 3 players who are vastly different offensively, and none of them could get anything going against Cason Wallace, who should be a lock for an all-defensive first-team spot this season if he plays enough games. Alex Caruso, again, Lou Dort has missed a lot of time. Hasn't really mattered. You've got Chet Holmgren down low, another all-defensive player. Isaiah Hartenstein is an extra rim protector and a really big body. Shai is good defensively. There is no weak links. Even guys like Isaiah Joe, Ajay Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, everybody competes on that end. Not to mention, Jalen Williams has not played this season. J-Dub, who was not only an All-NBA player and an All-Star last season, he was all defense. He was a lock guarantee on that team, and he hasn't even played yet, and the Thunder still have by far the best defense. It's not even, again, a conversation so far this season. So they've not only built up their biggest strength, one of the biggest strengths any team has ever had, but the offense is also vastly improved this season. The numbers might not reflect this huge shift, but it is the case. If you watch the Thunder, the eye test shows you this is a much better offense, one much better built to be successful in the playoffs. Again, even with so many guys missing time. Of course, the biggest part of that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's giving, again, 33 points per game, over 6.5 assists. He's become a really good playmaker. There were multiple passes in this Lakers game that Shai wasn't even thinking about making a couple of years ago, but now because he's seen so many coverages, there's really no way you can slow him down. I thought JJ Redick threw an interesting scheme. They were sending a lot of help at the baseline. It just didn't matter. Shai was throwing passes over the whole defense and finding somebody wide open. It took him like 3 possessions. He's like, okay, I know how to score against this. Once Shai sees the defense once, he kind of just knows exactly what to do. You can't stop him in the mid-range. The 3-point shot, especially that step-back 3, has become a big weapon. He's getting some catch-and-shoot 3s this season off of passes from Ajay Mitchell, who we'll talk about. He's one of the best rim finishers in the sport. Shai is one of the best offensive players that has ever played the game of basketball. He's giving you 30 points and like 6 to 8 assists a night in 3 quarters. Because guess what? Shai hasn't had to play over half of the fourth quarters that we've had so far this season. He has played 6 out of 13 fourth quarters for the Thunder. He's on pace to sit at 50 of them. He's probably not going to, but that's the pace he's on right now. And again, I need to remind you, Jalen Williams has not played yet so far this season. Chet Holmgren is taking a big step forward offensively. The turnaround mid-range jumper has been lethal, just automatic for him. He's gotten a lot better, a lot more in control, getting downhill and getting to the rim. The 3-point shot, he looks more comfortable there. The footwork, Chet has taken a big time step forward. It's similar to what we saw at the beginning of last season, which I tried to tell people that this year Chet was going to be in for an offensive jump, because to start last season before he broke his hip, Chet was looking like a whole new player on that end, and when he came back, he didn't quite have the same aggression. He wasn't involved in the same way. They were trying to figure out, how do we acclimate Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein this double big thing, and more often than not, the double big was a negative. Now, when Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein share the court, it's like a plus 20. They are annihilating teams because of the rebounding, because of the defense, the size, the connection. There have been so many moments where Chet has gotten the ball in the middle, he's flashed there in the middle of a zone or just gotten to that spot and defense collapses, and Isaiah Hartenstein cuts it off the baseline and gets a dunk wide open. Those two have such ridiculous chemistry already, and they haven't even played that much together. They just kind of needed an off season and some time last year to get acclimated. Now they're one of the most lethal frontcourt duos in the entire sport of basketball. Not to mention Isaiah Hartenstein himself is just playing his best basketball, averaging a career high 12.9 points to go with 11.4 rebounds. He's attacking off the dribble more. He's going ahead and nailing that little floater push shot every single time. And again, we talk about the lobs. He had a career high over 30 points against the Sacramento Kings, basically just bodying up against guys and diving to the rim, because the Thunder have improved as a passing team in a big way. And part of that is Ajay Mitchell. And if you didn't pay attention to the Thunder last season outside of like the playoffs, you probably don't know the name Ajay Mitchell. You're going to learn it over the course of this season, especially when he plays your favorite team, because Ajay Mitchell was a rookie last year. He was on a two-way contract. He played really well, but then got injured. I believe it was a toe, if I remember right, and missed a majority of the middle chunk of the year, played like 1 or 2 games in the playoffs outside of some garbage time, but he was not able to refine his spot in the rotation that late in the season. This year, he's a staple. He has started 4 games, and he's the 3rd leading scorer for this team, 17.2 points per game to go with 4 assists and 1.8 steals. As a guy who wasn't even part of the rotation last season. And one of the issues the Thunder ran into in the playoffs last year was a lack of half-court creation, being able to get downhill outside of like Shai and Jalen Williams. Ajay has been an automatic paint touch this entire season. He's really shifty. He's really quick. He's so good at finishing right-handed or left-handed. He had a nice mid-range jumper. The only thing that's not really been falling for him is the three-point shot, which was a huge weapon for him last year. So I feel very confident it'll come along. He's got really good pace and vision as a playmaker, through a great lob to Hartenstein falling down tonight. The teams that win the NBA championship and make all the records that the Thunder did last season are not supposed to have guys like him just pop into existence. But that's the way that it's going. And having him to play alongside Shai and Jalen Williams as an extra creator makes this team so much more lethal offensively. Aaron Wiggins is averaging 15 points. Isaiah Joe is averaging 15.6. That three-point shot, his release is much quicker. It's much more flexible. He can get it off in closer quarters. Cason Wallace is one of the biggest transition weapons in the league. I haven't even really talked about Alex Caruso, who feels like every game gets a steal and knocks down a three-point shot. It is a loaded roster. The Thunder are loaded from top to bottom. And again, this is a team that has been very injured, that has not had an all-NBA, all-defensive player play even a single minute so far. And they have the best record in the NBA, by far the best defense. They're, I believe, 6th right now offensively, and he is the second option for this team. When he comes back, he's going to be averaging 20 points per game on really solid efficiency once he gets back into his rhythm. And to add that type of guy when you're already playing like this, it doesn't feel like it's fair. Not to mention, I haven't even thrown out the fact, this isn't applied to the argument of the video that this is one of the best teams we've ever seen, but the Thunder also have the Clippers pick swap unprotected this year, and they're currently 3-8, 3-7. It's ridiculous. Sam Presti deserves like 14 statues in Oklahoma City. I might put one in my apartment here in New York City. I don't have a lot of room, but like right over there in the back corner, I think I can fit one. Or at least a little miniature one, because he deserves it at this rate. It's just unbelievable how good this team is, how much they're dismantling teams. The one loss, of course, came to Portland, who shot really well from 3, and the Thunder were down like 5-6 guys. It was a very minimal rotation, and that's not to take away from the Blazers. Like, that was a legitimate, really good win for them. But even still, like, it takes so much to even come close to the Thunder, never mind beat them. Just like, almost nobody stood a chance. The Pacers played him really close in the Rockets in the first 2 games of the season, a couple double overtime wins for the Thunder. But outside of that, there's been like 2 games this season that felt like real challenges. They were down 19 to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I was not at all fazed even slightly, and they won by double digits. Because I'm like, yeah, they're just going to make that run. Shai's going to take over. The defense is going to swarm you, force a million turnovers. The offense is going to get humming, and then you're just cooked. There's nothing you can do. Against a defense that's one of the best ever, led by one of the best offensive players in the history of the sport in Shai, and who has such good supporting talent around him that's only rapidly improving. Like, this team, it's not even a conversation from last year till now. As dominant as the Thunder were to win 68 games, I truly think if this Thunder team was healthy for the full season, they would have such a good chance at breaking the all-time wins record. I don't think they go for it. I think this team probably wins like 68 to 70 games if I had to make a prediction. I think 69-13 or 70-12 are both very attainable. They're right now on a 75-win pace, but like, they're going to lock up the 1 seed and sit guys towards the end of the season. Shai might take a few nights off in the back half of the year. J-Dub coming back from injury might continue to sit here and there. Chet, like, the Thunder don't need to chase the win record. They made a bunch of history last year. Right now it's about repeating. But to me, this is pretty clearly the best team in the league right now. I think there are other really good teams. Denver, like they got a 50-piece from Jokic, who was unbelievable. I swear he's not missed a shot the entire season. Like Cleveland's pretty good. The Pistons are playing some insane basketball. The Knicks, like there are good teams. The Houston Rockets have been awesome, but I think the Thunder at the moment are the clear favorite. I'm like Denver is the only team at the moment that I can see beating the Thunder in a 7-game series. Actually, but I think when healthy, nobody can do it. I think Denver presents the biggest challenge, but I'm taking the Thunder 100%. So that's kind of my spiel on the Thunder this season, what they've been doing. If you haven't been watching, which I kind of get because they've had so many blowouts, where at some point it's like, okay, am I going to turn on this game because the Thunder are going to be up by like 20 points at halftime, and then I'm just kind of out. This team is so much better than last year, and they're already one of the best teams in NBA history, taking a look at literally every stat that exists. And the craziest part is, if the progression continues, the 2027 Thunder are probably going to be even better. So yeah, shout out to the squad, what they've been doing so far. It's actually just, it's insane. I feel so lucky that my favorite team, as diehard as I am, is one of the best teams in NBA history. I think by the end of the year, if they keep up anything close to these numbers and go back to back, we're talking about the 2026 Thunder in like the upper echelon, the pantheon, the Mount Rushmore of best teams we've ever seen. Never mind best teams of like the modern era. Like I think it'll be them and the 2017 Golden State Warriors at that point. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the other games. There were a lot of them, and I kind of yapped for a while about the Thunder, so I'm going to kind of run through some of these. Jokic put up 55, 12, and 6 on the Clippers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to say much more about that. Denver's 9-2. They've looked amazing this season. Actually, have had the second best defense in basketball, which has been impressive. That offense is also elite. It's looking like the Nuggets team I expected. I was pretty firm on my opinion that it was the Thunder and the Nuggets as the clear top two in the Western Conference coming into the season, and that is the way it's looking when Jokic is playing some of his best basketball. For the Clippers, I mean, they got 23, 8, and 5 from James Harden, but it was announced today that Bradley Beal is out for the season. They're 3-8. Kawhi is dealing with an injury. It might just end up being a lost season. Like this may be the year that breaks James Harden's playoff streak for his entire career. I just don't know how they're going to keep up if things keep going this way. They're still talented, so I still kind of think they're going to be in that mix, but it's been a horrific start to the season. Steph Curry goes ahead and knocks off the Spurs with 46, 5, and 5. Warriors win 125-120. Wemby had a 31, 15, and 10 triple-double. Again, we want to talk about the Thunder defense. Steph yesterday, just basically non-existent. He goes up against another top defense in San Antonio, and it's 46, 5, and 5. Steph was just also, cooking some really good defense from San Antonio, but, there's kind of levels to this defense thing. But some people are overreacting yesterday saying that Steph was washed. It's going to happen. When he's at this age, there are going to be inconsistencies. Also, a triple-double from Stephon Castle, who's been really good so far this season. He's lived up to the Rookie of the Year bill with 23, 10, and 10, 28 from Jimmy Butler. Draymond played some really good defense on Victor Wembanyama throughout this game. And they go ahead and close it out. Rough one from De'Aaron Fox, 5 of 14. But a really, really fun game. Really fun back and forth. Always good to see those Curry flurries, especially this late into his career. The Orlando Magic got their most impressive win of the season, 124-107, knocking off the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Big storyline is Jalen Brunson tweaked his ankle late in the game. I don't know why he was still in there, but he left apparently in a boot and maybe on crutches. I'll put a tweet up here to go ahead and verify. I'm not sure if that's right. I can't remember. At least I know there was a bit of a boot, which is concerning. The Knicks, of course, absolutely need him. Hopefully it's just precautionary and it's not anything too serious, but 28, 9, and 4 from Franz Wagner. Some big shots from Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs to go ahead and stop a Knicks run at the end of this game. But Paolo missed a majority of the night and they were still able to go ahead and win. They're now up to 6-6, looking more like the Magic that I was expecting to see. The Pistons, without basically any of their starters, 124-113, beating the Chicago Bulls. In fact, they didn't have a single starter tonight. Another great game from Dennis Jenkins. Duncan Robinson had 23 points with 7 threes. Paul Reed had 28, 13, 6, and 4 steals. He was ridiculous. Bulls are coming a bit back down to earth. They didn't have Josh Giddey in this game, who of course would have made a big difference. But yeah, the Pistons, they're just loaded. Like the talent is there. They are deep. They're really well coached. Everybody's stepping up. This is a team that feels like a real threat to make a run in the Eastern Conference. I feel very confident in that the longer that this season goes on. The Suns win another game, moving the Mavericks to 3-9. Phoenix 7-5. They might be due a video pretty soon here because I thought they were going to be bad. They've just been objectively good to start this season, even with Jalen Green injured. But yeah, just 26, 3, 9 from Devin Booker. I'm going to save all my thoughts about Phoenix until I make a video here soon, but they've definitely impressed me. The Blazers, 125 to 117. Shaedon Sharpe on a heater right now, 35, 5, and 3 in this game. Derek Queen at 26, 7, and 4. It's tough because the Pelicans are probably going to give the Hawks one of the best picks in this draft, and it's going to be a player that's better than Derek Queen most likely, whether it's AJ, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, or whoever. But Derek Queen's been so awesome, so I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel bad. I want to both acknowledge Derek Queen is ridiculous, but also how did the Pelicans not find a different way to move up than giving up that pick that was just way too valuable to give up in a trade like that? Also, it sounds like Willie Green is probably going to get fired here soon, which is honestly overdue. The Rockets, a very casual 135 to 112 beating of the Wizards. Don't have a lot to say there. It's just what Houston's done all season. The Wizards are 1-11. Thought they might be a little bit more competitive. The Cavs 130 to 116 against the Heat. Pretty beat up. Jared Allen 30 and 10. Big game from him. Another team that just continues to kind of find some momentum, looking more and more like the Cavaliers I was expecting this season. No Garland, no Mitchell, and still able to go ahead and win that pretty comfortably. 131 to 95 win for the Celtics. Peyton Pritchard with a 24, 6, and 9 game. No Ja Morant for the Grizzlies. I dropped a whole video about Memphis yesterday. It's specifically Ja Morant, but it's just been a nightmare start to the season for Memphis. Sacramento has reached a new all-time low with this group. They're 3-9 and lost 133 to 100 to the Hawks without Trae Young. Now, given the Kings were without Zach LaVine, but like, I mean, come on. And this is now like the 4th, 5th game in a row where they've just gotten obliterated. It wasn't even close. Keelan Ellis, 20 points, 6 of 11 shooting. Hey, it's maybe like he should play a little bit more. I don't know why he's been riding the pine for a lot of this season. Jalen Johnson destroyed them with 24. Hawks as a team shot 57% from the floor, 42% from 3. It's a team that can't shoot the basketball and can't defend anybody. Unsurprising that they suck. I think this thing is going to be blown up ASAP if anybody is interested in those pieces. And finally, Charlotte Hornets beat the Milwaukee Bucks 111 to 100. No Giannis in this game. We got some Thanasis Antetokounmpo minutes though, so shout out to him. Ryan Rollins was really good for 25 points. Miles Turner gave them 21 as well. Those two guys stepped up, but they weren't able to stop the Hornets offense, which did a pretty good job in this game. Ryan Kalkbrenner has been really good this season. I don't think I've really talked about him, but 17, 9, and 3 blocks. If we're legitimately talking about guys that haven't missed shots all season, he's up there in that conversation. Trey Mann, pretty solid game, 13 and 50% shooting. Hornets just getting a game that they should win if they want to try and push for the play-in against the Bucks at home without Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I believe that's every game from tonight. And those are my thoughts on the slate. Appreciate y'all watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Let me know what your thoughts are on my Thunder. Do you think that they're going to go back-to-back? Do you think they'll come back down to earth a little bit? How many wins do you think they get? That's kind of the big question I'm asking myself. Like, even if they don't really try for it, again, they've been missing so many guys and they're still just winning super easily. So what about when this team gets a bit healthier? Even if some guys rest here and there, how many wins can this Thunder team accrue? Is it 70? Are they going to join the Warriors and the Bulls as one of only 3 teams ever? Is it more like 68 like they did last year? Because this team does feel better. I don't know. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. As well as anything else across this slate of games, your takeaways overall, what teams you want to see videos on. I definitely want to make a Denver video at some point soon. Phoenix, Houston. Maybe I should make one about the Pelicans. Maybe when Willie Green gets fired, I'll make one about the disaster that they are. Number of teams. There's a lot to talk about this early in the season, so let me know what y'all want to see. And one more time, shout out to the second channel, ThreeCone. I went ahead and made that one. Over 500 of y'all have already subscribed over there, so I appreciate that. Gonna be trying to drop like daily. I missed today, but usually it's gonna be daily videos where I'm doing like NBA quizzes. I might do one coming up here with my brother and one of my best friends where the 3 of us try and go through it. Gonna be some fun, just miscellaneous content over there throughout the season. But yeah, I appreciate watching. Also, I'm gonna try and get more active on like TikTok and Instagram, things like that. So I'll be on the lookout for those. Those are both just, I think, ThreeCone with no underscore. The Instagram might have an underscore. I don't know. Sometimes people take ThreeCone, sometimes people don't, and just leave me the underscore. I don't know. You'll be able to find it if you look it up. But I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all later. Real One Say Back. Leave a like and subscribe too if you enjoyed it. I think I forgot to say that. I'll see y'all later. Real One Say Back. Whatever.